Chapter 16, To the Lions. Just as Tom and Bill walked out of the Hyatt Regency, a taxi queued up. Tom asked the cab driver, "Can you take us to the Dirksen Senate office building?" "Yes, sir. It's about 3 miles from here." "Great. That's our destination." After they settled in, Tom opened the complimentary Washington Post provided by the hotel. At first, he casually scanned down the newspaper, but then his eyes stopped and widened. Immediately, he closed the paper and put it aside. Bill could not help but notice. "What's going on, Tom?" He gave Bill a glance and quickly turned away. "Oh, nothing. I don't think my breakfast sat very well with me." "What did you see in the paper?" "Here, let me see it." Tom moved in slow motion and only released the paper when it was tugged away. Bill opened it quickly, looked from top to bottom, and immediately saw the last headline. "Son of ID advocate has AIDS." "Oh, Tom, not Andrew." "I'm so sorry, Bill." Bill drove his finger into the paper as if to expose the source, the Huffington Post. Then he crumpled it and cast it down to the floor. "I should have known it would come to this." "Bill, it should have never come to this. There are laws against this sort of thing. These types take pleasure in the pain of others, and everybody will know how wrong this is." "That doesn't help Andrew." After some hesitation, Tom said, "I'm so sorry, Bill. I just don't know what to say." Bill sat silently for some time and then looked over to his friend. "No, Tom, I'm sorry. This is just what they want, me lashing out. It's just that every time I feel like I'm getting my feet under me, I get hit again." "Tom, will you please pray for me?" "Yes, I will, Bill. Let's pray." The two friends grasped hands, bowed their heads. Tom prayed a brief but powerful prayer for the protection of Andrew and God's blessing of peace and strength for Bill. Just then the taxi came to a halt and the driver apologetically announced, "The Dirksen building." Tom paid the cab fare, and then Bill looked at him and said, "There's no turning back now." With that, they stepped out of the cab. They found themselves at the side of the building looking for an entrance. As they rounded the corner, they saw a crowd with reporters and television crews gathering. "Tom, I wonder what's going on. Maybe there's some big event going on here today." As they walked forward, a couple of men in dark suits with Senate badges walked briskly towards them. "Dr. Elder, we are aides to Senator Paul Field. He has asked us to accompany you to a meeting room." "Sure, please do," said Bill. As they approached the gathering crowd, they were shocked by the picket signs which had just come into view. "Defend science, reject ID. Just say no to the dark ages. ID equals ignorant design. Look behind the curtain. It's the Wizard of Id. Back to the Bible Belt, Billy Bob." When the reporters noticed the aides leading Bill and Tom to the entrance, they moved to cut them off. Holding the microphones extended, they yelled out questions. "Dr. Elder for CNN, is it true that you have cured cancer?" "Dr. Elder for the BBC, do you hope to make this hearing into a Scopes monkey trial too?" "Dr. Elder for the Huffington Post, how can intelligent design explain the origin of AIDS?" Until this, Bill tried to escape attention, but now he stopped dead in his tracks to search the mob. Tom saw what was happening, grabbed Bill's arm and spoke into his ear. "Bill, don't give them the satisfaction." Then Tom and his aides pulled Bill forward and past the crowd, up the stairs and through the door. After they finally made it beyond security, Tom turned to the aides. "Why is the media so interested in this hearing? These Senate appropriations hearings are usually bone-dry boring. Our sources tell us the word got out this morning that this was a red meat opportunity for the press. Tonight's headlines have already gone all around the world." "How can that be?" objected Bill. "We haven't spoken a word." "That is how the media works today. Haven't you noticed how the international news outlets all run the same headlines? Many now speculate about a potential common source or even a conspiracy." "More like a common conspiracy of spirits," said Tom under his breath. The aides looked at each other in a puzzled glance as they stepped into the conference room. "We will leave you here to meet with Senator Field." A few minutes later, the senator entered from the opposite end of the room. Recognizing both his guests, he offered each man a handshake with a smile. "Dr. Elder, Dr. Johnson, my name is Paul Field. Let me welcome you to these Senate proceedings." Now, some are already calling me the vacating Commerce Committee chair. I had really hoped that I had presided over my last Senate hearing before leaving office, but I felt this matter called for immediate action. That said, please let me make it clear, it is not my intention to have a private hearing with you apart from the public hearings themselves. However, I do feel that I have a responsibility to inform you of some things that have just come to my attention. As your formal letter of invitation stated, our original purpose in calling this meeting was to learn about the funding priorities of the NIH related to the most promising lines of medical research. Your part was to offer expert testimony on the future of your research. I now have it on good authority that the NIH is working with the NAS in an attempt to scuttle these proceedings so that a discussion about your research does not occur in the public news media. It appears that they're not pleased with the interpretive revelations offered by Dr. Elder at his press conference. We now have evidence that some senators have arranged for counter-testimony, possibly hostile testimony, to be brought before the committee as well. So with that update, let me ask you if you're still willing to offer your testimony. Bill and Tom looked at each other with what bordered on resignation, but which turned to resolve as they faced the senator. We're also aware of the hostility, said Bill, yet we feel it is our responsibility to follow through with this process, which is almost certainly pushed forward with providential force. Well, I won't say I fully understand your kind of faith, but I do believe I have new reason to appreciate the faith of the fathers of this nation. Lives, fortunes, and honor, if you know what I mean. So I'll take your response as a yes. They hesitated together and said, yes. Very well, gentlemen. I will leave you to consider your strategy to explain your research to a bunch of ranchers, businessmen, and stockbrokers turned senators. I wish you luck. With that, Senator Field shook their hands, wheeled around, and strode out of the room. Bill, I understand that Senator Field has distinguished himself as an objective investigator. He asks tough questions, but is not so much interested in the politics as the truth. Very unusual. We may have a chance to make a difference here. Let's hope so. Then an aide opened the door to announce, the Senate committee hearing is about to begin. Please let me show you to the gallery.